Hi guys, welcome back. We just finished The Medium, and it's time for me to give some opinions of this game. I'm gonna start with some of the things that were really amazing. Like the graphics was holy shit amazing. I could not differentiate when it was a cutscene from when I was playing, and it's not because the cutscene was in such a bad quality, but it was that the actual gameplay was so good that it was really difficult to see when it was a cutscene or not, because the graphics were so similar, which is really good. The second one that I think was really good is that the story is so deep. There's so much to it that it's amazing. It's really cool. I had a hard time stop playing it because the story was actually really interesting. So those are the two very good things, and then I'm gonna bring up some slightly less good things. As much as the story is so fantastically amazing, there's so many long cutscenes that sometimes it becomes a little bit too much. It becomes a lot of watching, a lot of looking at the story, which is, in a way, I don't really feel that it's a bad thing, honestly. Because I do feel I'm putting it as a bad thing for the reason that it's actually a game and I want to play a game. I think it's in a way it fits, but I also think that it was a little bit too long, especially at the end there, where it would have been nice to me finishing the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would have wanted to be the one that makes the final decision to end the game, not just reach to a certain point and then see the climax given to me in a cutscene, if that makes sense. I would have wanted to because, like, at the end when you got to the lake, you got to have the choice between killing Liliane or killing yourself or so. And it ends well. It's a really interesting ending because you don't know how it ends, but it felt like the ending of the game was taken away from me, that I wasn't allowed to decide that now it's the end, if that makes sense. It didn't feel like I was deciding on to end the game. It felt like the game decided that now I'm gonna take over and I'm gonna show you this and I'm gonna end it. Like, usually you have either you have a cutscene or a fight scene, or you have some choices to do, or you as someone in the game gets to choose in some way to end the game, so to speak. But here it just took over and it just had that cutscene, and I felt like a little bit bad, even though I think that the actual cutscene and the actual ending was really nice. So it did kind of contradicting feeling. And then the second thing that I felt that was bad was the control. Like, or actually it's not. Well, it's not technically the controls, but it is the perspective of the game, which makes it. I am not a huge fan of this. I don't like having the way. I don't mind third person, but having the actual the background stuck, and then you need to navigate through a different dimension through that background. I don't like that type of gameplay. It does put me off for the reason that it does really fucks with my brain when I'm trying to navigate through it, and it just, for me, it doesn't always feel natural. So I don't like the feel of that. On top of that, I felt like when I was running a few times that either the control or something was like, it wasn't as precise when you're running when it comes to controlling the character, which could have been a conscious decision to do it that way, just for, because when you're running you might not have as good control of your body as when you're walking, but at the same time it's affect the actual game so little, but it's still like, it affects the gameplay so little that it doesn't make much sense to actually have it that in the game, because I don't feel like it's that impactful. It just makes a small annoyance for me when I'm trying to navigate through the levels. I think this is a good game in many ways, which is a little bit sad because even though it's like the developers and everyone has been working on this have done a really fantastic job. It's just that when it comes to the actual game, I felt that it's not. It's more of a visual novel type of game where there's so much story to it that and like I personally, it was so little mechanics for me to control the most ambitious game that we have made. Like it shows, and it's a fantastic. It honestly is the graphics and there's so much that is extremely fantastic in this game. So I really enjoyed that. I really think that they've done a fantastic job in many ways, but it just falls short on the long cutscenes and then the decision to make it in the way that it did with the stuck or this fixed background and then you navigate through it, because that type of perspective for me is not that good, unfortunately. Which pains me to say, because I want to give this game like a 6 out of 10 because it's really good, but it just wasn't there because it was so much cutscenes, very simple mechanics, which is really sad because the story is fantastic, the graphics is amazing, and you can tell like that it's not that the developers has done a bad job. Absolutely not, because you can tell that it's extremely well made. It's just that there's some of these decision making with regards to the game that puts it off a little bit, which is unfortunate. So yeah, it pains me to say it, but I want to give it a 6 out of 10. It was a really good experience, but I would have wanted. I don't know. Maybe I was having too high expectations, and possibly we could push it to a 7 out of 10. But I'm gonna stick to 6 out of 10 because it's fantastic in many ways, but there are these decisions that kind of makes it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really do appreciate that. And as usual, we're gonna end up with a very awkward dance. I'll see you. Bye.